Let's get it.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? It was a crazy long weekend, but we are here. I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are Engineered to Win. This is the Coffee and Kata Morning Show. We have quite a bit of news stories to get into today. And then we are going to spend a few minutes working on this mobile app for the time cost calculator. I want to try to add the counter today to it to see what happens, but some good news articles that I want to get into to see what is going on, and then we'll do what we do. All right, we will do what we do. How is everyone doing today? We got your car, as always, number one in the building, saying the tech pookies are in the building. Good morning to you, your car. And we also have coming out at noon today the Candid Conversations, talking about why everything matters, right? funny thing about that one, but why everything matters. So you definitely want to check that out at noon. And then we're going to be going live tomorrow night, where we're going to be doing our Q&A, tech Q&A. So if you have a question, you can call in, you can ask me in the chat, you can send me an email, Ralph@techcoachingwithralph.com, to get your questions answered. But let's not waste any time. I don't even think we're going to spend the full 45 minutes because we got things to do. So let's get to it. So let's start off with the way, let me make sure this is gonna, let me make sure the right screen is gonna show up. All right. Cool. All right, let's get into the numbers to watch for the week. So, this is going to lead us into our Saturday morning show. So let's take a quick look, right? Let me put, and I'll put the 2-minute timer. Hopefully that works. But I'll put the 2-minute timer just so we can keep it moving, right? Can keep it moving. But if we spend less time, then that's perfectly fine, right? So the following Friday's pivotal jobs report that showed the U.S. added a less than forecast 142,000 jobs in August. Investors are narrowing in on the Federal Reserve's plan to cut interest rates later in the month, and how deep a reduction they'll make. In the meantime, investors will be watching Wednesday's consumer price index numbers for the sign that inflation is continuing to cool and on its way to the Fed's 2% target. So what do we have to look forward to this coming Saturday? Wednesday, September 11th, the Bureau, which is going to be the day after the debate, the presidential debate, the first and maybe only presidential debate. All right, it says the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the monthly consumer price index for August, which measures inflation through the price of goods and services. And it says on Thursday, September 12th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the producer price index for August. The gauge measures the change over time in prices charged by domestic producers for their output. And then we have our the one that we normally have, the U.S. Department of Labor will release initial jobless claims for the previous week. The report is a proxy that tracks the number of people filing for unemployment benefits. So pretty much how many people are filing for unemployment for the first time who recently got laid off or fired. And then Friday, September 13th, the University of Michigan will release its preliminary reading of September's Consumer Sentiment Index, which measures how Americans feel about current and future economic conditions. So we'll be looking towards that this coming Saturday on the Men Lie, Women Lie, The Numbers Manipulate show. So looking forward to see everyone this coming Saturday. We had a great show this past Saturday. Going to have a great show this coming Saturday, as always. And as always, co-hosted by my guy Yakar and Mitch in the chat. Shout out to Mitch and Yakar as always.
Okay, let's move on.
And we got in the building. My guy Peter Investor says good morning to you and your chat. Good morning to you, Peter Investor.
I appreciate you.
And Yakar hit us with the one, the only. Hey. I love that. Hey, welcome, Yakar, as always. All right, let's get into our next story for today. And we have quite a few stories, by the way. So, Big Lots seeks Chapter 11 protection. Oh my goodness, not Big Lots. I remember Big Lots from when I was like, so before Big Lots was Big Lots, it used to be called McFrugal's down here in South Florida. It was a long time. It had to be like maybe 30 years ago that the original Big Lots was like McFrugal's. Because Big Lots has filed for Chapter 11. Let me put up the timer as well. Says Big Lots has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection and reached an agreement to sell its business to private equity firm Nexus Capital. The struggling discount furniture and home chain decor chain, discount furniture and home decor chain, which is based in Columbus, Ohio, operates about 1,300 retail locations and employs over 30,000 workers per recent filings. I didn't know that many stores or people. But to be fair, there's like 2 of them down here that they're like in 5 to 10 minute distance from my house. Other retailers recently hit by slowing spending on homes, including Conn's and LL Flooring, which recently filed bankruptcy, notes Bloomberg. Ooh, it's rough out here for these. I guess there are discount furniture and home decor, but they sell a lot more other stuff over there too. But it is interesting. It's hard out here. It is hard out here. So sorry to hear that. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But we'll keep it moving. We will keep it moving. Google faces another antitrust lawsuit. Let me see. Do I have this one? I was trying to find another one, but there you go. Google faces another antitrust law.
Another one.
Yep. So, this Google is again defending itself against an antitrust suit by the U.S. Justice Department as a trial around the search giant's digital ad business begins Monday. So that's today. Google already lost a major case last month when a judge ruled it had a monopoly in online search. Now it faces allegations of monopolistic control over its ad tech tools, costing both advertisers.
Let's move on.
We'll keep going. We shall keep going. You're not going to bully me, right? Costing both advertisers and publishers. At stake is a potential partial breakup of the company, with regulators seeking to a divestiture of Google Ad Manager, where publishers sell inventory and brand manage campaigns. Yeah, I'm telling you, they're like, who did Google piss off in the federal government? Because this is crazy. Bernstein analysts said Google also could be hit with a class action lawsuit from advertisers seeking as much as $100 billion in damages if the Justice Department is successful. They are, I don't know who Google pissed off, but they're coming after them. While the department has also sued Apple, Google parent Alphabet is so far the only company to land in federal court. Ooh, so now they're coming after Google for their search. They're coming after Google for their ads. It's crazy. It's crazy out there. I'm gonna see if there's anything we can follow up on this one this coming Saturday to see if there's any insight on the ads part, because it's like they're really trying to take Google apart. Not sure who they pissed off. Maybe they didn't turn over some data to the government that they wanted for who knows. You saw Mark Zuckerberg came out and said, yes, we were being very, very mischievous a few years ago. So we shall see. And you also see about the X being banned in Brazil, and the Telegram CEO who was arrested in France. So it's like, while these other countries, they might put you in jail for not giving them over the data that they want, over here they'll, they'll just sue you into oblivion. So we'll keep a close eye on that. All right, let's continue. This one reads, well, let's wait for the timer to go off and then we'll start this one. But
Okay, let's move on.
all right, let's get into this one. How 10 to 4 became the new 9 to 5. So the era of remote and hybrid job arrangements has upended daily work life in more than one way. A ripple effect, CNBC reports, is that rush hour is no longer the bumper to bumper grind it once was. So shout out to that. With commuters going into the office later and leaving earlier, 9 to 5 has evolved to 10 to 4. According to an INRIX traffic data analysis, the data also revealed a midday surge. Office commuters at noon are as busy as 9 a.m. or office commutes at noon are as busy as 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. That's interesting. A significant number of workers have also abandoned public transportation, which hasn't recovered to pre-pandemic levels. Interesting. I always, you know what? I'm gonna add to my list. How does public transportation work? Let me go to my. I need a list. Let me see, which list should I use? Let me drop it in here. I'm curious. How does public transportation work? How is it funded? And we'll look into that on a Saturday morning as well. All right, let's continue. So that's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. People are more working. So now does 10 to 4 become the new rush hour? And I'm guessing at noon, people are going into the office at noon, or they're leaving at noon. So you might be having crazy traffic in both directions. Interesting. Rush hour, as we know it, is apparently over. While it's imperfect, I see this as a good thing. I hated rush hour. I hated being stuck in traffic. Hated it.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, let's continue. And we got Mitch in the building. Good morning, Mitch. He says, basura. That is Spanish for trash. It says, I was just there Saturday. You're at Big Lots on Saturday? Interesting. Did you pull up in the Lambo? Mitch, to Big Lots? That'll be a pretty interesting sight to see. Peter Investor says basura equals garbage, and retail store metrics on track is same store sale. Interesting. Let's see. All right, let's get to the next story real quick, and then we'll continue with the chat. All right, so this story, let's put the timer up just in case. The rise of micro retirements. Micro retirements? What's that? What if you could retire at 27 and again at 39 and again at, well, you get the picture. Some workers in their 20s and 30s are embracing micro retirements, shorter breaks from work to enjoy the freedom of retirement while before traditional retirement age. One 30-something woman interviewed by the Wall Street Journal took 6 months off to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, thinking she might be physically unable to do it when she's older. Of course, there are trade-offs. Workers who take such a break risk having to work longer to make up the time and money. Micro retirements are still uncommon, but the idea is gaining some traction. Almost 80% of recent college graduates were interested in taking time off from paid work, one survey found. About Only about 6% of employers offer paid sabbaticals. Another 8% offer unpaid ones, according to the Society for Humane Resource Management. Um, I don't know. I guess it's how you define it just sounds like it doesn't sound like a micro retirement. It sounds like a leave of absence or an extended vacation or something like that. Um, should should a 6 months be paid by a company? I guess it depends on how much they value that particular employee, but um, I would be on the side of not early, not for 6 months at least. Um, but but things are strange nowadays. Things are strange. You know, it's I'm just gonna move on. I don't want to have any additional comments on this. I'm just gonna move on before I've been told to.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, let's get to our next one. AI resumes overwhelm recruiters. Oh my God. What is going on here? As more job applicants turn to artificial intelligence for help, recruiters say they're inundated with resumes that read like facsimile. I don't know, maybe I don't know. I try. Let me see. Can I get a pronunciation on this? Can I get a pronunciation of each other? All right, let's get a definition on this. An exact copy, especially of written or printed material. So I guess that's where the word fax machine comes from. Okay. All right. I got you. I got you. Let me see. Where were we? Oops. We were here. All right. So companies are taking countermeasures. The Wall Street Journal reports organizations are adding application layers like a video interview or question about why an applicant wants to work there. Even then, recruiters say the job seekers appear to be using AI, and the glut of applications is unfortunately burying quality candidates. There are really good folks that are just not getting seen because of the volume. I tell you guys this all the time. I tell you guys this all the time. You have these jobs with over 100 applicants, and they're just flooded. Like people just apply for anything. They're not qualified, but now the poor recruiter has to go and sift through every single, or not every single one, because it's gonna get filtered out. But then they have to go through the resumes and see, and now they have to contact you and see if you're gonna make it through. It's tough. It is tough out there, I must say. All right. But let's jump into the last article real quick. So, hiring someone to help you quit. What? Isn't that like
Okay, let's move on.
isn't that like a counter thing? I just put our last 3 minutes up on the clock. So our last article. Reluctant to tell your employer that you're resigning. Businesses are cropping up in Japan to help thousands of people quit their jobs with less stress, reports the Wall Street. Why is this? I mean, all right. To be fair, it can be stressful leaving a job when you're resigning from a company, when you're putting in your notice. It is pretty stressful because they will stalk you if they really want you to work. If they don't care, right? They'll say, "Okay, you can just leave now. You don't have to spend the two. You can just leave now." However, if they really want you, they will stalk you and say, "Oh, please, like we'll do this and we'll do that and stuff like that." Some employs the service. Some employ the services because they fear facing backlash from their manager for moving on or being pressured into staying for the job. Like I just said, right? CNN notes this type of business existed pre-pandemic. I didn't know that, but has since grown after a shift to remote work prompted many in Japan to reflect upon their careers. Plus, with an aging workforce and labor shortages, young employees may feel more empowered to make bold changes. That's pretty interesting. Um, that's pretty interesting. I would I pay somebody to help me quit a job? I don't know about that. and I guess I would wonder how they actually help you quit this job. That takes off the stress and the burden on it. But it can be stressful leaving a job because they'll have you like when you put in a 2 week notice and then you have to talk like it's like you have to go through a gauntlet of talking to a bunch of people who say, oh, can we change your mind? Can we do this? What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? And a lot of times when people have said that they want to go, their mind is pretty much made up, and now they have to go and sit through all this stuff. Some people end up changing their mind because the company might end up offering them this or that, but there's some beliefs that once you put in your resignation, you
Okay,
should
let's
just go
move
through
on.
with it. Say you should just go through with it. All right. So let's go back to full screen, and I will check the chat. And let's see what we got going on in here. He agrees with that 100%. 12-to-1 office is like a lunch break. Yeah. Let me see. And Mitch says no, he pulled up to Big Lots in an Audi. He left the Lambo at home. He's like, you know what? Maybe Big Lots is not the best place to pull up in the Lambo because I wouldn't be able to fit in the sofa in the Lambo, which makes total sense, right? It makes total sense. You don't have much room for anything in there, right? So, says, did you see the recent data breach in Medicare? I did not. I'm gonna check that out then. Let me put that in my notes because that might be a great Friday bug bite. Where's my notes? Where's my notes? Go here, and we say Medicare data breach. All right, perfect. Thank you, Mitch. I'm gonna look that one up. And it says Peter Investor says some studies have shown that if you truly retire inactive, it will affect your lifespan negatively. Correlation, not causation. I've heard. I think it depends on who's retiring, right? Because I've heard of some people they like some guys they retire and then a year later they can't. It's like because they need something to do. So it depends. What are you retiring from, and what are you retiring to do? Because you might like I'll give you an example. My uncle, he retired from the work that he was doing, but now it's like a lot of times he works a lot more, and he's up there in age, right? But he's always been in like handyman construction and stuff like that. I'm sorry, he might have rebuilt half of my house. He might have rebuilt half of my house. Shout out to my uncle. Shout out to my uncle. So it's all about to me. It's all about staying busy, Peter Investor. Staying busy. Like when you look at someone like Warren Buffett, who's in his 90s, he might be retired. He might be traditionally retired, but that guy is still working every single day. So I hear that. I totally understand what you're saying. Because just like I want to leave here, it's so stressful. Oh, that sucks to see. Anyways, we know you're just kidding, Mitch. We know you love being here. Thank you so much for always being here, Mitch. All right, we are going to jump into some. We're gonna jump into some mobile work real quick. Remember, we have your car. We have the candid conversation coming out at noon today. For real this time. For real this time. We have it coming out for real this time. All right. Let me go over. I won't even put up a timer. We're going to just do a little bit of work. Let's go to the screen over here. And do I need full screen? That's good enough. All right. Let me start up our emulator. And I need to find. I don't know where I put it. Probably close the time. All right. I probably close the tab. So let's start up our app as well. So two things that I want to do. Your car said it. He already did his time. That's too funny. Let's see here. All right. So app is starting. Let me go to. Let me see. Counter. There we go. So the two things that we want to do, is we want to have a like arrows type thing to do a counter over here. And there's this over here that in theory should be able to do it, but we're gonna find out, I guess. Yeah, it should look like this. That's the hope. That's the hope, right? Let's see what we can do. Ooh, I don't know which one we like better. We like the regular arrows. We like these arrows right here. I might go with these. Let's try to add this. Let's see what happens, right? We'll try to add it. All right. So how do we add this? A Flutter widget that accepts numbers along with buttons to increment. Let's see. Getting started. Install. Did I install this yet? Let me see. Go to install page. So so I'll go back over here and let's go to our pubspec.yaml. Do we have? I don't think we installed it yet. So we're gonna do Flutter pub add number inc. This one. All right, so that should add it. Now let's go into our pub spec and make sure that it's in there. Num underscore inc. It's not. All right, so dependencies. Let me minimize this again. Oh, there it goes. All right, cool, perfect. Number inc. All right, cool. So now let's go to our main and we want to import the package to go all the way to the top. And let's go here. All right, cool. So we're importing that package. And then we want to go to, so now we are going to utilize the number increment, decrement as usual, like any other Flutter widget. Controller texting controller. So we got to find out exactly where we're going to drop this thing. I guess it's going to be over where this is. So let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. Let me take a look at this first. This is passed down to underlying text form. This might actually this might actually do the limit for us as well. So that might actually solve that problem that we were trying to solve the other day by using this. So let's try it out. Let's try it out. I'm looking for total hours spent. So here. All right, well, let's try dropping in the code and see what happens. For now, I'm gonna mess up how it looks a little bit just so I can add another one, right? So let's say we did sized box, comma. And we do, oops. Width of 195.0. And we say child. All right. I think let's just leave it as that for now, right? And just to see what happens. So, oh. So now we just need to convert this into that. Okay, so let's do that. I'm gonna do, so let me see. Get my pretty buttons first. So I guess there's no max of hours. See if I take the max out. And we do a minimum of 0 hours. And cool. Perfect. So then now how do I get, I want cool buttons though. I don't know how to get the cool buttons. Ooh, that was a nice one too. We'll worry about the cool buttons later, but that's pretty cool. All right, so now let's work on migrating. Let's work on migrating this to here. So we have that. So now I'm wondering if this, are we going to be able to get this, both of these buttons in there? So let's go to, let's see what we can get in here. So because it's going to be based on, it's based on a couple of things actually. So what I'm looking at, here are the options that you can use inside of the like when we're setting it up, right? So controller, what's going to be the text editing controller? A mandatory text. Oh, okay. A mandatory text. Why is it? Hold on a second. If I can expand a little bit. Why does this not that's ridiculous. All right. So we have the controller, text editing controller, mandatory text editing controller to be used with the text form field, which is what we have here, a text form field. So this is a text form field, okay. Decides the layout of the increment buttons, okay. This is passed down to underlying text form fields. However, this is by default auto, okay. The minimum acceptable value for this numeric field. All right. I guess this is for the min and the max. Let's see. Incrementing de facto. Okay, so we're gonna do that by 1. I wonder if I can type in here too. Let me go. Okay. Input decor. Okay, there we go. Number field decoration. This decoration will be used by the text form field and input decoration with an outline border to create. Okay, there we go. That's what we're looking for. Widget container decoration. The decoration for this, for the container, that wraps this up. Color is blue gray. And then they have style. Cool. All right. So that's pretty much, I have an idea what we're working with now. And I'll tell you this, back in like January, all this stuff would have been totally foreign to me. But now it makes a lot more sense. It makes a lot more sense. All right. Let's go over to here. And all right. So let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do here. So let's try to take this key. I don't know if I'll be able to do this though. Let's see. Because inside of the, so the suffix icon goes inside of the text form field. All right, well, we'll revisit that part, right? So the suffix icon is like that clear thing. So we'll revisit that. Let's see what else they have in here. What else did we have in here? We have the border. Let me see if we have an option for border. I don't see the option for border in particular. Let me see. Border isn't going to be on style. Let me see what the widget container decoration has. Okay, so we would use input, we would put number field deck. I guess, all right, so I think it's going to be this one. We will say number field decoration, and that could be the okay. We might be able to do that. Let's go with input decoration. Open that. And now I wonder if we can do suffix icon. And can we just copy this part? Let's see. It accepted it. Let me try to run it and see what happens. Let's see what happens. Ooh, look at that. So let's say we put 60 in there. Oh, it's not clearing that, but it's not clearing it because it's probably in here. So if we go one here. Okay, so got that part. So we just need to specify that this should be clearing out this. All right, so I think as we continue to migrate it over, we'll get that. But cool. So let's continue. Let's get the button there first, and then we'll. Let me minimize this icon suffix. And we also want to take in the. You can copy all of this stuff. I just copy the whole input border. And we're copying the whole input decoration. Let's go with that, see what happens. Nice. Now this total hours spent thing. I gotta think about this part because this should be in here, unless we label it differently. So we gotta think about that part. But we still have our counter. But yeah, I don't know. I gotta figure this part out. We're getting there though. We are getting there. What else? We got that part taken care of. Now we have that. We have the keyboard type. Maybe there's a keyboard type in here. No. Input formatters. I mean, I think it already takes care of all of that. Controller. Let's go. Oh, so we already have a controller over here. So if we. Is this going to work? Let me see. Okay. And now we add this on change. Okay, so we could copy this whole thing over as well. Why did that not work? Why did that not work? Let's see, value. Can't be assigned to a string. Maybe because, let's see. Value. So here, a value of type string cannot be assigned to a variable type of num. Where is the variable type of num value?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
I think we're pretty close. I think we're pretty close, but we'll continue with this on Wednesday. But from here, we'll have to do the same thing for we'll have to take off this total hours thing, and then we'll have to do the same thing for the minutes, and we'll figure out this part over here to see what we're gonna do. But we just have to figure out this value thing they're talking about. The value is num. And let me see real quick. Cool. Anyways, that's it for today. We'll figure it out, but we're making great progress. I like that we are able to see this counter over here. And let me comment that. I just want to see one quick thing, right, before we go. Comment that out. And if we run it again, and let's say we just put something over here, we go here. Huh, that's interesting. It's moving this up over here. Let me see so we got it. So yeah, all right. So the on change is what's controlling this, but you see how whatever we put in here, it's gonna be here. So these two are working together. Now we just need to get that on change to take place over here. So see if I click. Oh, look at that. Oh, nice. Oh, look at that. So we don't even need to have a default value in here. So we will remove the default value. There's probably an extra border on here that we'll take off as well, so that maybe we won't have a border around. Maybe we won't have a border around. Like it looks like a double border. So maybe we'll take the border off and do something like that. Anyways, good stuff. I'm really happy we did this morning. Went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but it was well worth it. All right, let's go back to full screen as we wrap it up, and let me check the chat, and then we'll get out of here. So we said, all right, so rebuilt half of your house, but you're looking to move now. Where am I moving to? I'm not going anywhere. What are you talking about? I am not going anywhere. And you guys already did my time. Y'all got it. In your car, dang. That's, can a generative AI test for gunning fog index, maybe it can be applied to writing resume. Send me a message, because I'm not 100% sure what you mean by gunning fog. And let me look it up real quick. Gunning fog index. It's a tool that tries to calculate the gunning fog index. It is a weighted average of numbers of words per sentence. I'm gonna have to look that up. Let me write that on my list as well. You guys give me a lot of content to look into. Gunning fog index. Perfect. Got that on the list. And let me see, anything else before we get out of here? Nope, that is it. Thank you so much, Peter Investor. I really appreciate you and all your amazing insight. But we're gonna get out of here for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, we have candid conversations at noon today Eastern time. We have we're going live tomorrow for Tech Q&A. And we so if you haven't already, do me a big favor on your way out, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content, and go over to techcoachrough.dev. You can sign up for free. The sprint review from last sprint, should have just been released, and the full Scrum Night for those who are tech explorers and higher should be releasing in the next 15 minutes. So you definitely want to check that out. Very valuable information. It was a very different sprint review. You definitely want to check it out on how do you handle it when things don't go in the best possible way. All right. But with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you all.
I appreciate you.
This is Tech Coach Ralph with another episode of Coffee and Kata in the Morning. Tech Coach Ralph is out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.